Today's journey starts on the old Arrowhead Highway in Utah, all the way to Route 66 in California. Come along and join the adventure. Welcome everyone to Weekend Escapades. We are on a journey today, a road trip. We're just going to find a couple of great places to go, but we're going to start our journey out right here on Old Arrowhead Highway. As you can see it behind me here. In this location right here at the base of this hill behind me is where there used to be a store where they sold a tremendous amount of things, including fuel, but mostly water was the most expensive thing, because back in the day those old cars would go up these hills and overheat, so they had to carry gallons of water with them to keep those cars cool. And right over here across the way there's a couple of places they had some cabins to stay as well, and there's ruins right over here. I don't think we're supposed to go in there, but it looks like there's an opening in the fence, so let's go take a look. Now these ruins were, of course, once the area where they stayed. The people lived, and they had a couple of cabins here that they rented out. You can see these posts right here are showing the entrance to where the location was. You could probably bring your car in here and park it. But again, these were old Model T cars that they were running up and down this road. Now this was before Highway 15. Again, all the ruins here. And then Highway 15, way down there in the valley, as you can see, it runs right down there is where Mesquite would be. And Mesquite, Nevada. That's one of the first places you can cross out of Utah through a corner of Arizona. And that's the first place you can gamble right there. So people make that a destination, although it is very hot in the summer. You can imagine that that would be the cabins there. And another one right up here, up the draw. And there's the other little location, a cabin there. There's a couple others out here, a bunch of tin. So you can imagine that these were little cabins where that store and rest stop before heading up that hill would be located. You can see up there, there's a couple of locations that they've built, cement. And then they've got a retaining wall and some old stone here. So you can see where things were built. Again, this was a location where there was a little store at the bottom. And there's a cave over here I'll show you that was built inside the store. And one of the reasons that that was built is they used to keep the perishable items cool inside that area. There was no power, so they kept things cool in that cave. You can see here where it was kind of built up with cement and things, where there was buildings, and probably stop some of the water from running off up here to keep those buildings safe. But you can see they've done construction here. Again, nothing's here anymore, just the history of what was here. And there's a couple of old photos, but not very many. So this would be the location here where it was. See some natural caves. But this is the one where they kept everything cool. And a lot of people have gone in here. But I am not going to go any further than this. It is extremely dark in there, and it smells of bad stuff. Some more natural caves over here. So you can see how they would get the idea to dig in to keep things cool, as they naturally would inside of stone. So enough about Arrowhead Highway. Let's jump back onto the I-15. And we're going to go on to Veterans Memorial Highway through Searchlight, Nevada. I'll link a video for Searchlight at the end of this one, so be sure you check that out. And from there, we're going to hop on over to Highway 40 to get to one of our most interesting destinations. And this is right off Highway 40, which you can see behind me right here. And we are headed to Amboy, California, an abandoned town with quite a little history, some of it a little spooky. Come along and join the adventure as we head that direction. Just the other day, this whole area flooded, and you can see where the road is kind of falling apart. A lot of markers. You can see the erosion along the way, and this runs all the way down this road as it goes straight down into the canyon. So that's where we're headed, right down there to Amboy. You can see the flooding took out a tremendous amount of highway, as that is Route 66 in the distance that we were on now. And we are about 6 miles away from Amboy, and that is a dead giveaway as to where you are. Route 66. Let's head on into Amboy. So just stopping along the road here. Amboy, of course, is just a couple miles down the road. You can see there's a couple of signs here. You got to watch out in this desert, let me tell you. Those Mojave green rattlers are said to be out in this area. But right over here, there's kind of one of those Chinese lions that you can see off in the distance. A little trail where people come out here and probably ride on it maybe, or put a sticker. Never noticed it before because I've never been here. First time for us as well. So whenever you're traveling, you know, you see something roadside, you want to stop and just kind of be part of it, as others have done. So here it is. This is the, maybe there's a name for it. If you know, put it in the, of course, in the comments below. But one of those Chinese dragon, dog, lion things right here in the middle of the desert. People are leaving a few things here. Some beads and rocks and looks like business cards. And you can see we are in the middle of nowhere, right next to Route 66. Right over there.
In a quarter mile, you will arrive at your destination.
All right, we have made it to Amboy. As you can see behind me, this is a Route 66 roadside attraction. And that noise you're hearing in the background is a train that runs right through Amboy. The tracks are right behind me. And of course, this is a Route 66, Amboy, California. Founded in 1858, Amboy provided a vital rest stop for freeway and sun-drenched travelers seeking a better life in California. These were the original roadside cabins that are now, of course, an attraction. And behind it is the old hotel where they filmed many movies, you know, spooky movies, I guess. There's been a couple that have been done here. One was The Hitcher, and a couple of horror movies. And you can film through the gate now, but they have, of course, closed it off. Some old abandoned trailers in front of it. But a couple of the rooms, if you film close to them, had blood splatters on the rooms or coming out the windows because, again, they have filmed a couple of horror movies here. There's an old water tower off there in the distance. But you can see why that would be used in the old horror movies. Probably B movies that they filmed. And then, of course, right over here is the old school. We'll go walk over there and show you the original sign, stand in front of that says Amboy School on it. An old metal sign that has seen better days for sure. All right, so just kind of walking over here. I think my straw hat's kind of falling apart. Seen some better days. Have to get a new one of those pretty quick. But behind me is the school right over there, and you can see the sign right there. It says Amboy School. See if I can get a picture right in front of that with the school in the background. Oh, there it is. There's the Amboy School sign with the school in the background, right there. Pretty excited to be here. I've seen some of this online before. A couple of people that make videos, you know, they always put the Route 66 roadside attractions. And I wanted to come here and share this with you as well. Maybe you've already seen it, maybe you haven't. Either way, always nice to have a fresh approach to what's going on here in the middle of the desert, where it's 108 is what it registered. And I can feel every bit of that temperature. I'm gonna head over this direction as well. You can see the old Roy's, a vacancy, Motel and Café. That one looks like the church over there. We're gonna head that direction, as well as a few other buildings across the road. Everything's painted white. Probably because it's so darn hot. Okay, so the school, and of course the hotel was behind. This is the inside of the little roadside cabins. They've cleaned them up. Looks like they've taken the original stuff off the floor, but yeah, they've left these for people to see as a roadside attraction, which is really cool because Route 66, of course, iconic. But a lot of these buildings in certain locations, that's not good. A lot of these locations, they're just not left and people don't take care of them, but they've done a pretty good job and people aren't destroying these because again, it is, you know, very iconic and Route 66. Can you imagine driving down the highway on Route 66, seeing these old neon signs lit up and pulling your giant old road-worthy car down the highway when gas was like 28 cents a gallon, and being able to pull up and stay in one of these little cabins, if not the hotel in the background. But these cabins are like a tiny home. I think I could live in something this size. I've said it before, but what else do you need? Put yourself a little kitchen over there. You got a bed and a couch, shower and a closet. Why not? Tiled shower, nothing wrong with that. So there's 6 of these little cabins. I can't wait to get over there to the filling station. That's so retro, the way that's out, and again the amazing sign. Oh, well, it is scorching hot. What's left of a food truck. But again, a lot of movies have been filmed here, and you could see why. You could really turn that into an amazing prop for a movie. You can see the palm trees out in front of it are still fairly healthy. Little palms that are out there, a few of them. Maybe they don't need much water, but over the last couple weeks they've had plenty of water because it has just been a downpour of rain and flooding in this area. I know there's a tremendous amount of people out here that film, you know, the Route 66 and the signs, but one thing, I did not expect as many people out here, and I have not seen a picture of that sign before. Route 66 right at the bottom there, you can see it. There's quite a few people. Tremendous amount of Harleys just pulled in over there. And look at the front of that old building. Let's go take a look over there and see what's inside. Now this placard here is representing the trails and rails through the Mojave Desert. America has always been a nation, in motion west of the Mississippi after the purchase west again to the Pacific after the war with Mexico. Like many of today's railroads, the rail route through this part of the Mojave Desert has its roots in the nation's old pack and wagon roads. The front of the hotel, right? So here would be the cabins and the hotel in the background, as you can see, and a huge radio tower. Oh my goodness, I couldn't tell you how tall that is. But this would have been the area where you checked in, of course. So there's a grand piano in there, record player, luggage, and I'm assuming a picture of who founded the town or the hotel. And there's a Steve Lawrence album sitting back there. The windows are extremely dirty. If you can't see in, I apologize for that. You can see the desk there. A couple of vintage telephones. Adding machine. But this would have been the area where you checked in for the hotel. Very retro looking, including some maybe 70s looking furniture and colors. Looks like the cafe actually is still opening, or still open, and got a barbecue out front. We're gonna go check that out. Cafe. It's like the only bit of life right here in the shade. But this is probably the truth if you can get fuel here. Look at those prices at Roy's Gasoline. $6.79. Well, it does say closed. Somebody's getting sprayed with a super soaker.
Okay, so you're spraying there on the 7th floor.
Don't know what chili is. So,
Roy's Vacancy Motel Café. We went there. Nice little gift shop. Beautiful things inside. You can see a tremendous amount of course, I guess gift ideas and some souvenirs. Then as you're coming outside, of course, the beautiful sign, and right below it is this fancy car. That's a lowrider. Oh wait, the tires are just flat. Well, that's a beauty. All right. I'm not seeing any badges on it. Not sure what brand or make or model that is. At the front, Pontiac? Cadillac? Not quite sure. If you know, let me know below. Other than that, I think I'm getting almost exhausted from the heat. And look at all the people out in the middle of the road. There were a couple of people out there dancing in the middle of the road making TikTok videos in this heat. Crazy. Crossing Route 66 as we walk along. Not a tremendous amount of traffic, but a few cars. A lot of people are just passing through. Maybe they come through here all the time, or maybe they don't really know a little bit about Amboy or the history of it. Again, a lot of movie filming. And this looks like the remnants of a shoe tree, as you can see here. People leaving their garbage, if you will. Shoes and water bottles, cans of soda. There's a rubber chicken right up there. And, oh, a few unmentionables as well, hanging on the old tree. Let's go over there and see what's going on with that church in the distance. So this, the old church, and of course a little home that's right next to it, it's opened up. Looks like they're maybe renovating it or something like that. And there's a chair right there in case you want to take a seat. But you're hearing the car run in the background because I am not going to turn that off and have that air conditioner shut off again because it is smoking hot. Look at the floor in here. In the back of the building, multiple rooms. Probably was a nice little place to stay at one time. Somebody's missing the couch. I think I found it. Little planter. Little cactus garden, maybe. Well, this is the side of the church. We'll go around to the front as well. That's never a good message to see on the side of a building when you're walking around abandoned buildings. I don't like that at all. A lot of places you go in that are abandoned, you worry about seeing somebody around the next corner, but I don't think anybody's crazy enough to be out here in the heat. I think I'm crazy enough as it is. It is really hot. Especially since we are super low. We came from the I-15 over there and we dropped in probably another 800 feet off the highway. Not 15, off of the 40. And this is some of the seating out of the church and the piano. Ooh, little echo in here. This is a fairly nice building. The windows are blown out. Just a little bit of graffiti, but not bad when you consider we're in California off of Route 66 where a lot of people drive. You would expect something worse. There's where you would, of course, kneel to pray in church. And what's left of that piano. And hey, no windows, no doors, but a screen door. I'm going to keep the flies out of that area, evidently. Had electricity for sure. Archways, probably what, a 40s build maybe? 40s, 50s with the archway and so forth. Okay, so the back of the church, you can hear the train rumbling behind me, as it is right out there, passing right through Amboy. That is the third train since we've been here, so it's a very active railroad for sure. Okay, so this is the other side of the church. I guess the east side of the church, best I can tell, being in the middle of the desert with my directions. We're not going to be able to look inside, maybe. Wait a minute. Here we go. Oh yeah. That was quite a ways up there. That was a good 7.5 feet in the air to be able to get that in there. I hope we had some good sights inside that church. That is the only open spot to be able to film it. And that is an old wood cross for sure. St. Raymond's Church. They built this amazing church that still stands in Amboy. Now there's a lot more information on that placard. As you can see, it's too hot to read it all. Now this one here is a house that was just across the street from Roy's. There's an even older one over there. It's all wood. It doesn't look as open, but this one is open and looks like we can explore. None of these say no trespassing, so they kind of encourage you to come here and explore around. This one says the walls on it. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's somebody who owns it. Kitchen right there. We can go right out the back door. Laundry room area. Maybe they're gonna fix these up. Here's the bedroom. I think that's a fairly ornate table that's in there. Probably fix that up. Do not stick your hand in the windows to film, because that glass can be pretty sharp, so I'm really cautious of that for sure. Let's check out the garage. And at the piano. This town has no shortage of pianos for sure. Looks like they've fairly well taken care of brick walls. If they aren't new, they've really held up. They're probably not that old, but that piano is definitely weathered. And as you look out of your garage, Roy's and the hotel and everything right across the street. You have quite the view of the town of Amboy from your garage. All right, so as we're headed out of Amboy, where it's plenty hot, I'm going to remind you again, we found this shining off in the distance. And look at that. It's a little Amboy shrine where you can put your stickers. Now that really reflects in the sun. Some people leave their garbage here, some people their shoes, and others stickers. With Amboy in the background, there's the shrine. People are signing their names. Somebody left some Red Rooster hot sauce right there. Another, a can of ranch style beans. All right, so that is going to conclude our visit to Amboy, as it was fairly interesting. The church behind me over there, the garage we explored over here, another house over here, and of course, Roy's and Amboy, the majority of it, right over there. We hope you enjoyed this adventure to Route 66, California, Amboy. And until our next adventure, goodbye from Weekend Escapades. We'll see you in the next one.